I'd like to welcome you to another Kali Tutors tutorial session. In this tutorial session, we'll be focusing on SUS1501 assignment number 4. This assignment is based on Rawls' theory of justice. If you are new to our YouTube channel, please subscribe to get access to the latest videos the moment that we upload them. If you'd like to join our membership channel, please click on the join button. Please note that the join button will only be visible if you are using a computer. Without wasting your time, let us proceed to look at the objectives of this tutorial lesson. Okay, so this is what we are going to discuss in this lesson. We'll first look at Rawls' theory of justice. Then we'll discuss assignment 4 instructions. And lastly, we are going to look at how to apply Rawls' principles of justice to the given scenario. Okay, so when we discuss Rawls' theory of justice, we'll look at his veil of ignorance. And then we'll discuss the greatest equal liberty. After which we are going to discuss the equality of fair opportunity. And lastly, we are going to discuss the difference principles. Okay, without wasting your time, let us get on with it. Let us say somebody approached you and they asked you if you believe that today's society is fair or not. What would you say? I don't think many of us will conclude that today's society is fair, given all the challenges that we are faced with. So this was the actual problem that was faced by John Rawls. He looked at our society and concluded that it was not fair, and he took it upon himself to come up with principles that will help us design a fairer system. In his conclusion, he believed that valid principles of justice are ones which everyone will rationally choose from a position of equality. So in order to achieve these valid principles of justice, Rawls came up with something called the veil of ignorance. The veil of ignorance is a thought experiment designed to help us think about justice and fairness without the influence of personal biases. According to Rawls, when determining the principles of justice that should govern a society, one should imagine themselves in an original position behind this veil, where they do not know their own social status, wealth, talents, or personal characteristics. This position encourages the design of societal rules that are fair and just for all, as one could potentially end up in any position in the society being designed. Okay, so what is the purpose of this veil of ignorance? As I have just stated, one is to eliminate biases. Secondly, is to eliminate self-interest. Okay, so this is how you are going to use the veil of ignorance. Okay, it will simply strips you of all knowledge about who you are in the society you are about to design. You do not know your gender, race, social status, abilities, or personal preferences. You also don't know what kind of society you will be in, whether it will be wealthy or poor, peaceful or violent, etc. Let me give you an example of how to look at this, okay? Let's say that I approach a group of people and I ask them to assist me on how to distribute oranges that I have. I tell them that I have 3 oranges and I want to share those 3 oranges with my cousins. Then I give them more information. I tell them that one of my cousins already has 2 oranges. The other one has 1 and the third one has nothing. If I ask those group of people on how to distribute my oranges, what do you think they will suggest? It is likely that all of them will agree that I should give 2 oranges to the person that has nothing and give 1 orange to the person that already has 1 and give nothing to the person that already have 2. Okay, so in a position of equality, all these people will agree that this is a fair system of sharing my oranges. Okay, so in terms of Rawls, He believed that valid principles of justice are ones which everyone will rationally choose from a position of equality. In that case, sharing oranges like that will be seen as a fair manner. Okay. So, according to you, do you think I would have distributed my oranges in a fair manner? Because at the end of the day, one of my cousins will have received nothing from me. Okay. You can see from the example that I have given you that this fellow was very smart. Okay. He actually took some time to think about the whole thing. And he did not end there. He came up with some principles that could be used to check if an existing system is actually fair or not. And that is what we are going to discuss next. So Rawls came up with 3 principles to check if a society followed valid principles of justice. Okay, the first one was the greatest equal liberty. The second one was equality of fair opportunity, and the last one was the difference principles. The difference principle and the equality of fair opportunity are said to be sub-principles. Basically, there are 2 principles, but this one has a principle A and principle B. Okay. We don't have to debate whether there are 2 or 3 principles. At the end of the day, we are trying to assess whether a society follows valid principles of justice. Okay, so let us look at the greatest equal liberty. Okay, so under this principle, Rawls concluded that each person is to have an equal right to the most extensive basic liberty compatible with a similar liberty for others. What this simply means is that when you are trying to access your most extensive basic liberty, it should not infringe upon the basic liberties of others. Okay, that is basically all that you have to keep in your mind as we proceed. Okay, with this principle, Rawls set out to guarantee our most basic liberties. An example is the right to vote, the right to freedom of thought and speech, the right to own private property. As we proceed, we are going to use this principle to assess our society using the example of the children working in cobalt mines and tech billionaires. Okay. The second principle is the equality of fair opportunity. According to this principle, any person, irrespective of where they sit in society, should have absolutely equal opportunities to attain absolutely any position. For example, if I want to be a president of a country, I should have an equal opportunity or an equal chance as the next guy. Okay. With the last principle, this principle allows some degree of inequality to be considered. Social and economic inequalities are permissible only if they benefit the least advantaged members of society. For example, if a society allows for differences in income or wealth, those differences should work to improve the situation of the poorest members of society. Okay, in terms of Rawls principles and in terms of Rawls theory, this is all that you need for this assignment. Okay, the next thing that we are going to do now is to read the assignment questions and apply these principles. Let us look at the assignment questions.